What's up, guys? So this is a video on the KTMs and the ones that I've owned and how I used to not like KTMs, and I'll kind of go over that why and how I really like them now, and I've been buying more of them and I will continue to buy them. And I'll also go over this one that I have, what I like about it. So this is my 2006 KTM 300 XC. As you can see, I picked this up for $1,200, I think, about a month ago, and it's been great. One of the best $1,200 bikes I've ever bought. If you see my previous videos, I did add new plastics and graphics, seat cover, and grips. This bike has been great. I did do a little tuning on the carb, so it runs awesome. But that's not what we're here for. So the KTMs back in my day were hard to get parts for. I'm 42 years old, and KTMs, when I remember them back in the early 90s, mid 90s, you couldn't find parts for them. So I kind of stayed away from them up until this last couple of years. And I don't know how many I bought, but I really like the KTMs now. And I can't speak to the newest ones, but I'll speak to like from, let's say, the early 2000s through 2015 I've owned, or 16. And the reason I like these, and I've grown to like them, is you can find parts for them, and they come with some nice stuff. First of all, Brembo brake system. Now, I'm not saying all of them come with it, but this one does, and a lot of the ones that I have. And the brakes work fantastic. Here's the Brembo. All right. I mean, they work amazing. It's night and day compared to some of my other bikes. And I always notice the difference after I sell one of these. I get into something else. Also, the suspension on these are awesome as well. To me, I mean, this is just my opinion, okay? I know there's people out there that know 10 times more than I do. So this is just for me. The suspension is great. Even the front forks. This one has air forks. I swear, I'm never going to move by somebody that has dogs ever again. The front suspension on this is great as well. So like the whole suspension and braking system is great on these. They've just, yeah, I don't know what else I can say. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by dogs and kids making a bunch of noise. But prior to owning these, I wasn't so familiar with them. But then I bought one, and I had actually 3 bikes at one time, and I hopped on that KTM, and it was a night and day difference when it came to the suspension and the way it ran. Also, the way they're balanced. Now, this one vibrates the heck out of you, but they're balanced. They feel light. I'll look at the specs, and the specs are like off maybe 5 pounds or something, but this thing feels 20 pounds lighter. And it seems like every KTM I get on feels like that, especially the 2-strokes. And, well, even the 4-stroke, I had a 525 one time. That thing was insane. But that really, yeah, the 525 I had was crazy. It was light, but it had so much power. This right here, this 300, this is the second one I've had. And they're just great bikes. I've never had to do anything major to them, and I've ridden them hard. Just the way they're set up, it's simple. They've had the same type of frame, I think, for a long time. And you would think, okay, that frame's going to be heavy. You're going to feel it through the bike, and I really like the way it's set up. I couldn't imagine if it had like a lighter frame on it. But that's why I've really fell in love with these KTMs lately. And it's based upon how I ride and the other stuff I've ridden before. I'm not like, this isn't like the only bike I've had. I've had 3 bikes at once and ridden all 3 and then came up with this one. My next bike I want to get is a KTM, but I want to get the 254 stroke because I like the 254 strokes on the Yamahas. So I want to try one of these as a 254 stroke. And really, I kind of like the 4 strokes more than the 2 strokes. I just like the way the 2 strokes feel when they're light. They feel light, and also from my understanding, they're a lot easier to repair and get fixed. But yeah, I didn't like the KTMs because I had bad experiences when I was younger. Couldn't buy them, and because you couldn't find parts for them. Now you can find parts for these things. But this one's great. As I said before, I'm trying to think if I have any complaints about it. The only thing I get, is so these come with hydraulic clutches, and I don't know if I like them. It just seems like you don't feel with a cable clutch. You kind of feel when you're letting it out, like you feel the drag. Right? With these, it's kind of bouncy. It's almost like you could be letting it out slow, but it feels like you're going like this. You know? I would say that is my biggest issue. And if they start leaking or whatever, then that causes a problem. But I'm getting more used to them the more I ride them. But other than that, I can't really think of any issue, anything I don't like about these bikes. So once again, I'm not a professional rider or anything like that. I'm not the greatest rider, but I'm not the worst. But I bought a lot of stuff, and more than the average person. And these, I really like them. And so here's the thing about KTMs too: they're so expensive. So I get these super cheap. They don't hold their value. I think of them like the Mercedes of dirt bikes. Like they got everything that you need. They're fancy. They're super expensive when you first buy them, when they're first for sale, but the value drops tremendously. You can pick these things up pretty cheap. Now a lot of times people buy them, and you know what? They don't even hardly ride them. At least ride them as hard as you could ride them. And with these that I've purchased, I haven't had any major issues with them yet. And like this one, sometimes it seems like the carb might flood a little if you leave the gas on. But I also heard that these kind of do that. What else? And then, sometimes the Kickstarters get a little weird. But this one's been great. I might even be able to start it in my hand. I'll probably hurt my hand. So that's my review on these bikes. That's why I'm really starting to like the KTMs. I'll go to other bikes and end up coming back to them. And that's my review. That's why I'm liking the KTMs now. It has nothing to do with anything, with any other reason, but just I've been riding them quite a bit lately, and they've been so well balanced, and the suspension, the braking, the power, everything. And I've been able to get stuff for them, and you can get a lot of bike for a little bit of money with these. So long term, I don't know. I haven't had one long enough. I know you get a lot of hours out of them, but that's my personal opinion on these, since I went from not wanting a KTM to really liking them. And I noticed they don't have as many leaks. as a lot of the other Japanese bikes I get. Even though that right there. But usually fork seals are leaking, axles are shaking, wobbly. These things seem to stay tight. But that could just be from the ones I'm looking at. So if you're looking at one of these, look them over real good, ride them, see what you think. And if you ever have the opportunity to jump back and forth from one bike to the other, you'll notice the difference like I do. Some people like different, right? Some people like a different feeling, but these, I mean, all around are just super light. Just like that 4-stroke 525 was super light, but it was really powerful. So that's my review. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, God bless. Oh, by the way, I'm trying to sell this too. Not as easy as I thought to sell. I guess that's the other downfall. I can sell my Japanese bikes a lot quicker versus these. And I'm only asking $2,700 for this. So that's kind of a downfall too. I guess they're a little bit harder to sell sometimes.